Chimera DK, wide receiver from Florida, Home Squad Sports.
This is Jacob Harris, and shout out to Home Squad Sports.
Hey, it's Jake Brenningstool with Home Squad Sports.
This is Seth Hennigan here with Home Squad Sports.
What's up, everyone? Home Squad Sports. We are here for our Big 12 preview. We are getting down to it. Week 0 is here. We are getting the last bit of our previews, getting every single team covered. Got some new developments here, new injuries that shook up the whole conference here, just of how we're looking at that. We definitely took that into play as well. But first off, Dalton, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Only a couple more nights of sleep before football.
Yeah, bro. I swear. We were just talking before we started. It's been such a long off season, and man, it's been a long grind, but we are here. If you're any fan you are, it doesn't matter. Big school, little school, FCS, FBS, doesn't matter. We got week 0 here. We got about 5 or 6 games, which we'll get into later in the week. We got SEC wrap up here, previews. That will pretty much end it, and then we will have week 0 preview later in the week. But Dalton, I want to get your thoughts on the Big 12. That is a conference we're covering today, obviously. And what are your thoughts overall on the conference, just to give the people a little insight here?
Pretty deep, man, right? A lot of teams that I think can win the conference, a lot of teams that could finish last in the conference. There aren't any runaway favorites here at all. I like a lot of quarterbacks in this conference, man. A lot of good returning quarterbacks. Rocco Beck, Avery Johnson, Jalen Daniels back at Kansas for what seems like the 10th year, you know? Seems like he's like Perry Ellis there.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people in here that's been around the block, and they're not new to it. So I agree. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Like we said, we got some injuries that's shaking up everything. Let the people just fill them in. Let the people know what's been going on and how that shook up everything. Who's hurt and what happened.
Yeah, I couldn't join her today. I just seen it right before we started this. Or, I'll let you know earlier.
Yeah.
Tore his ACL today at practice. So we had Texas Tech losing the game that, we had them dropping one more game than they would have. We had it 10-2 originally. Arizona State passed him up. He averaged 7.6 yards a carry last year at USC. He was going to be their number 1 for sure. So a little bit of a loss there, especially this late in the offseason.
Yep, I agree, man. It definitely shook it up. It pretty much changed from 2 to 3, made it a flip-flop here, which we'll get into the records as well. But we got Kansas State here, number 1, finishing the conference as the winner and as the conference champions of the Big 12. Avery Johnson obviously returning a quarterback. A lot of these guys got some strong quarterback play that I think is pretty underrated. Some guys that love Utah, they love Iowa State out there, Arizona State as well, obviously, and then some dark horses that got to prove themselves, like some young guys at Baylor.
Baylor, yeah.
Exactly. So
last year.
I agree, and a lot of guys are warming up to him, I believe, in the draft circle and just pretty much in college football. They all love him. So, and I'm kind of starting to, I like it more than Marcel Reed. A lot of guys in the SEC. So let's go ahead and get into it. But overall in the conference, obviously we got the standings. We get into the records and the key players and the top transfers. Anybody that could possibly creep up as some underdogs or some teams that are undervalued, or maybe that's some teams that are overhyped that you think that are just really not all that good. What do you think?
How about Arizona's bounce back year, man? Brett Brennan's first year there, not ideal, to say the least. Jed Fish had that offense rolling 2 years ago. With a fight, it looked like he was going to be the next big thing. They struggled last year. Tet's gone now. Not too high on them, but maybe they can prove me wrong. That's a big year for Brennan, man. And at the top of the standings, I think watch out for Utah, man. Willingham's still there. He's going to have them playing good defense. O-line's amazing. Lomu and Fano, watch out for them too. Dan Pierre's a great quarterback, but they could just keep games close where they don't have to play from behind. Utah's going to be real tough to beat this year, man.
I agree. I think Utah is. That's what I was about to say. I think they could creep up, maybe slip in there with BYU, flip-flop them. Who knows? And then maybe bump Iowa State up there. Maybe Iowa State finishes 5th. Maybe Utah slips in there at that 6th spot. We never know. But Baylor, I think, is a big team with kind of a wild card. But I do think they are going to shock some people. And then if you've been kind of on their bandwagon, maybe you're not so shocked. Let's get into the first team here, Dalton. Let's get into the key players that's going to be returning. Let's get into some people that's, got their eyes on the prize and people that are a little bit, more familiar, more household names. Avery Johnson is a guy that sticks out there at quarterback. He's a guy that grew on me last year a whole lot, I will say. I think he's a guy that has definitely some potential at the next level. But any other of these guys that are on this list that are key returners that you're looking at that's going to be showing out?
Oh yeah, Dylan Edwards, I think, is gonna have a great year. DJ Giddens was great last year, but I think Dylan Edwards come in and do pretty much the same thing. Very undersized for a back. I mean, he's like 175 on a good day,
Yeah.
5'9", but he's what he makes up for and what he lacks for in size, he makes up for with speed and elusiveness. Man, he had some big plays last year, and his freshman year at Colorado had a couple huge punt returns to
Yeah, he
help
did.
him out. So I'm excited to see him. And then Jayce Brown, man, best receiver Kansas State's had in a long time. I mean, maybe since Tyler Lockett even. I mean, I don't remember the last time they put a guy in the league, honestly, at receiver. Um,
Good point.
823 yards last year. That's so much for Kansas State.
Shout out Jordy Nelson, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, they
Right.
got some other guys. They got some real throwback here. Shout out Jordy Nelson, great slot, great Packer, and great Kansas State Wildcat here. You make a good point though. A lot of these guys are like Dylan Edwards, like you said, has kind of been around for a little bit now. I think he's ready to kind of burst on and get some stats, run them up. Desmond Purnell is another guy, a linebacker that's going to be coming back. Austin Romaine as well. Now we do have the Wildcats going 10-2, coming off the 9-4 record last year. Give me sell the people on the 10-2 record and just how they're going to do it. Do you see this team being more of a 60-40 pass? Do you see this team just straight up airing it out this year, not really relying a lot on the run game since they do have a mobile quarterback? What do you think their recipe for success is going to be?
I think they're going to try to rely on the run for sure as much as they can. I like
Okay.
Avery Johnson's talent and his ceiling's there, but he only 58% last year. Um,
Mhm.
Not the most accurate. You want to at least have 62, 63 in that category. So he needs to make a jump in completion percentage if they want to be a pass first team. Um,
I agree.
but
I
yeah,
agree.
he's a very good runner. Him and Edwards together could be very hard to stop, and their defense is just always solid, right? I mean,
Always solid, always like good line play, and it's just kind of the boring football that gets it done. You can always see them. You look at your standings at the end of the year, and Kansas State's always creeping up in second or third in the conference for whatever reason every year.
yeah. Vj Payne, great year at safety. I talk about this every week. Seemingly every team has a great safety this year.
Yeah,
Vj Payne, 2 picks last year, 2 forced fumbles, 39 tackles. Expect him to have a big year at the back end. Romaine was a great team leader. Forced 4 fumbles last year, so big hitter, gets the ball out, forces turnovers. I think they're always just well coached, man. Chris Kleiman got them going right, picked up right where he left off. Like Kansas State's always consistent, and I think this is the year they make the playoff, man.
okay, I love the take. I love the take. As we said, we're going to get into week 0, get all of our playoff takes and all of our championship takes. Now they're going to have some new faces here, some top transfers coming in. These are the guys that are fresh on campus there. We got Jayshawn Ross from Alabama there at defensive end. Offensive lineman J.B. Nelson from Penn State. Cornerback here, Amarion Fortenberry, great name, all-name team nominee from South Alabama. Antonio Martin Jr. for Louisiana Monroe there at running back. George Fitzpatrick, offensive line from Ohio State. That kind of clears up. These are all rated from top to bottom here, as best to worst, according to 247. Now, obviously, some of these teams got 30, 40.
Yeah,
These are usually we have the room for usually the top 15 on these. So Gabe Powers from Ohio State's another guy, linebacker. Um, and then Terrence, is it Enos there, junior from West Georgia? So many FCS and D2 transfers, I would say, this year. Now, I've been looking at it like, okay, is this elite scouting or is this coaches trying to save money? Literally, like, honestly, I think they can just offer guys and not offer them any NIL, and they'll take that step up every day of the week. What is your thoughts on the influx of FCS transfers this year, Dalton? Is it more of them looking at it as a bang for their buck, or do you think they just really been having to, get back to the grind of good scouting?
I think it's just now that you can transfer portal's a lot open, you can pay these guys. You don't have to let them sit down there once they prove themselves. A
Yeah.
lot of guys get under recruited. It happens. Whether you come from a small state, like all the North Dakota, South Dakota, they're so good. All them teams are so good at football, and most of their kids come from that area. So he's get overlooked in recruiting. I think is the biggest thing. And you know, it's hard to get eyes on every single high school player. Man, there's so many high school teams out there.
Well, I've want to. That's a good point. Kind of piggyback and look at it the other way because you said they don't have to wait too long to guys to prove themselves, and they can just go ahead and snatch them. Well, I think it's kind of like the other way around. When you get on campus, if you're not up to par and you're not a ex school player, they don't think, then they can just tell you to leave, and they don't have to honor your scholarship anymore. They don't have to wait for your scholarship to end, as opposed to we're just going to replace you with somebody that we think's better. So I think that's a good way to look at it, because like, okay, we don't have to wait for this guy in the FCS, but we also don't have to wait for this guy in our own program to turn around the corner when we don't think so, and we just get rid of him. Some schools, another man's trash is another man's treasure. So I think some schools with that is like a Cremani McLean. Remember Cremani McLean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
he's doing great for you all now in Florida, and he just really couldn't cut it, but it's looking like he's kind of gotten it together. What are your thoughts on that? As we get into the next team here, just on your thoughts of those players. Like, is it more of this transfer portal? Is it really heavy on the coaches? Is it? I think it's more harder on the coaches because they're always having to flip their team, but I feel like a lot of people don't look at it because it is harder for these players because they can legit get cut at any time now.
No, it's true. It gets two-way street, like you said.
Yeah,
The bigger the program, the more guys you're going to get cut, more guys you're going to have leave out of nowhere. So
yeah, it's
it's a give
weird.
and take a little bit, but it's tough on the coaches. It's tough on the coaches, tough on the players, but it's also good for the coaches and good for the players. So you
Exactly.
can't have it both ways.
Yeah, double-edged sword. And like we've seen, like good teams here, they've kind of hold it off on the transfer portal, like your Florida Gators. We've seen a bunch of schools like that. Not every school went into the portal, knee deep and flip the whole roster. But let's go ahead and get into the next team here. So we got conference champions here, Kansas State. Now, the defending champions last year, Arizona State. We got them not repeating. Tell us why they're not going to repeat this year.
I mean, I know that everybody likes their running back room still. Udo coming in from Army. They got a couple
Yeah,
backups last year. Kashawn Brown, Ray Leak Brown, big time recruits. But Scatabo was just different.
yeah,
He was a
he,
receiver when Jordan Tyson went down. He was our best receiver too. I mean,
yeah, he was.
he really helped the team a lot. And I'm just worried about this team if Jordan Tyson happens to go down, miss a game or two. The rest of the receiving room is pretty unproven. You got
Yeah.
Jalen Moss coming in from Fresno State. 560 yards last year. Not nothing to write home about there. He's got decent talent, but Malik McLean's the number 2 returning receiver. He only had 2 catches last year, so I'm just worried about their offense a little bit. I love the defense. The DBs are great. Abney and Robinson at corner are great. Xavier Alford at safety. Just worried about their skill positions, man. I love Levitt. You might be able to elevate him a little bit, but
Yeah.
10-2 is still a good year. It's still a really good year.
I like exactly. You got to take that. I mean, this is your 10-win season. You take that any level of football. Coming off the 11-3 win, obviously with the playoff appearance in the conference championship. So shout out to them. And let's go ahead and get into the new faces. You kind of alluded to them as some guys they're going to have to lean on to get some, playmaking ability and some guys to run up some stats and score some points. Any of these transfers that are sticking out to you? We get, obviously Nyland Green from Purdue, another Purdue guy. Add him to the long list of guys that's going to be making plays that played at Purdue last year. They're a
Yeah,
DB. Like you said, Jerand Hamilton's coming from Alabama, wide receiver. Udo, their Army running back, like you mentioned. Any of these other guys you see on this list that are going to show out for them?
yeah. Funny enough, though, this other Purdue guy, Kendrick Breedlove,
Yes,
real
corner.
good year last year. 3 picks, four pass deflections. Right now, he's planning on starting. They're starting him in the nickel, so huge position there
Love it.
nowadays. Your nickel's
Yeah,
almost in that every snap now.
yeah.
So he's on defense. It's really him as the big transfer. The rest of them, the rest of their defense is pretty much back. I mean, they got a lot of defense players returning. And then on offense, like I said, Jalen Moss, Kanye Udo. Udo's going to have to have as good of a year as he did last year at Army. 1,100 yards, 6.2 yards per carry. If he's that good, then you know they might be able to run the table. But
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Put the team on his back. Just old school runner. Come on, I'll take you. Kind of literally similar to Ashton Genty last year, and make the offense a whole lot easier for the quarterback and hell for the defense. So yeah, I agree. I think they're gonna have a big year, and obviously, the prediction reflects that. We got them getting that 10th win. So shout out to Dillingham. He's
one
really
more,
turned.
one more guy on their list.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just I want to mention Wade Helton. He's projected to start at center. He's a redshirt freshman. So
Oh wow.
Iowa State transfer too in conference. transfer, and apparently he's a dog. You're starting as a redshirt freshman.
Love that.
Center too is the hardest spot. You got to communicate. You got to be smart. You got to have high football IQ to play center. You know that.
Yeah, it's hard,
So
dude. It's
that's
hard.
impressive. But see, I'm excited to see how he plays. If you don't play good, the whole line could shatter around him. So
I agree. I agree. You have to have a good center, or you at least have to have somebody that's serviceable. That's you don't have to worry too much about. So yeah, I agree. Let's go ahead and get into the next team. We've got obviously some solid quarterback play, and we're going to roll into the team that's been dipping into the NIL money. That's looking to put a name, on their map and put their program on the map. Obviously, with Mahomes there, he's got them new uniforms, but all this NIL money, they're really trying to be big players in this game. The Texas Tech Red Raiders. They got some guys here coming in, Dalton. Want to get your thoughts. We got them going 9-3, coming off the 8-5 record. Caleb Douglas is a familiar name there, a wide receiver coming. We got Coy Eaton. What about a couple of these other guys before we get into the transfers that you're looking that's going to be taking some plays for the Red Raiders?
I do got to mention Caleb Douglas because he's a Florida transfer. We haven't lost as many guys that we wanted to keep the past few years. He's one of the ones we lost, man. 6'4", 210 receiver, just physical specimen. 877 yards last year. If we got him last year, if we had him this year, man, but really good receiver. Coy Eakins had a good year too. Another big guy, 6'2", 210. They're really big on the outside. I like their size receiver. I like their size at receiver. And Beaver Morton, man, unheralded, but what a year he had last year. 3,300 yards, only 8 picks, 27 tuds, 139 passer rating for Morton. So I think he's underrated as they come at quarterback.
I agree. Exactly. Especially in this conference that's always going to be airing it out. A program like Texas Tech, who's always aired it out, as you go far back there, you can go far back to the Michael Crabtree days there. That's great days. I miss those days, honestly. Great uniforms. But yeah, I agree. I think they have some underrated players, especially at the quarterback position. And then they have some new guys coming in. Like you said, Florida's lost some guys, but they did dip into a little bit. But Texas Tech, man, trying to be a force to be reckoned with. We got them going 9-3. I think it's going to be a good year for them. Next team we got to go into is Baylor. But before we do, let's touch up on Texas Tech. A couple of these other guys that deserve some love.
One of the best transfer portal classes in the nation, right?
Yeah, huge.
Most people say they're number one. You got to start at the top. Yeah, David Bailey, 7 sacks last year, 5 forced fumbles. And he had no help there at Stanford. They were really bad. And Romello Height coming from Georgia Tech. He also had a good year. So I like the two bookends they got a receiver. Micah Hudson back after he flirted with the portal. See if he can tap into his talent level. Lee Hunter, another really good defensive transfer. Huge year at D-tackle last year for Central Florida. Reggie Virgil projected to start at X receiver for him. 800 yards last year, 9 touchdowns at Miami, Ohio. So
shout out.
Then Quentin Joyner, man, the unfortunate one, was going to be RB1. Big loss there, but as we mentioned on the last page, they got 2 good backs returning. So I think they'll be fine there. They had depth. I like Cole Wisniewski a lot, man. He's a North Dakota State guy. You know how those guys are smart, physical, tough. I think
Tough,
he's
good football players.
Big impact on the back end of this defense, man. And Skylar Gill Howard too. He's going to start D tackle. Northern Illinois transfer, 5 sacks in the D tackle position. So you're a good interior pass rusher. There are a lot of sacks coming in this class. It looks like they just remade their defense, and that's always been the problem at Tech. So if their defense hits, man, watch out. Their offense is going to be good no matter who they have at quarterback.
Yeah, it's weird. They just somehow always you just see them put up 42 points here, 45 somehow, however they do it. Somehow, some way they get it done. Another team that's trying to just really turn a new leaf, a team that's still within Texas, the Baylor Bears. We got them projected going 9-3, coming off the 8-5 record last year. Dalton, give me your thoughts here. Some key returners like quarterback Sawyer Robertson and some other guys as well. Who should people be looking out for?
Yeah, like you said, Sawyer Robertson, man, probably an NFL guy. Not first or second round, most likely, but later round, 4th or 5th round pick type of guy. Great year last year, 28 touchdowns, 8 picks, 153 rating though. Great year. Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
You got all the running backs too. One of the best rooms in the country. Should be mentioned with Louisville, Notre Dame, Penn State, but they're not. Washington had 1,000 yards last year as a freshman. Pendergrass, 600 yards as a sophomore. 2 really good backs. And then Josh Cameron, man, what a year he had last year too. 10 touchdown catches last year. That's a lot. So I'm excited about this team, man. Their offense is great, like always. Another one of them Texas Tech type teams. Their offense seemingly hums no matter who's the coach, who's the players are there. It's a scheme thing, I guess. But
Yeah.
I like this Baylor team. Aranda's got to go in the right direction, man. The end of the year they were hot last year. I think they carried over.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a team that's going to be have a lot of respect to them at the end of the season. They got some new faces as well. They did add some talent there at quarterback, like some guys Walker White from Auburn. Any of these other guys that we got Kobe Prentice from Alabama, wide receiver. Any of these other guys that you're want to get the people educated on?
Yeah, several of these guys projected to start this year. Kobe Prentice starting slot receiver. Expecting big things from him, man. Was a huge recruit. It's hard to sometimes you get behind people at Bama, man, and then you never get your spot back. I
Yeah.
think that's what happened to him, but I think he and the number 3 receiver, it's dangerous. Marion Winston's expected to start at linebacker from Oregon. Didn't put up big numbers there, but another just big recruit that maybe just needed a place to show his stuff. Adonis Freelou had a big year at Tulane last year. A lot of good defensive players here. Matthew Fobbs White, another Tulane guy, good year last year, projected to start. Trevion Barnes is going to start as well. So a lot of start and people coming from this transfer class, mostly on defense. And that's where Baylor usually has some struggles. Their defense hasn't been the best like ever. Aranda had a really good defense his first year there when they made the Big 12 championship, but since then they've been struggling. He hit the portal hard there. I'm expecting their defense to be improved, and they're gonna have a lot of sacks. I think this is gonna be a sack heavy team.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I like that take. I'll be. I think a lot of people would be surprised with that one because like you said, they've always putting up a lot of points, like some of these other teams. And they went into the portal, and these are guys are plug and play. These are guys they want on the field right now, and they want them producing right now. So that's good to see. That we have a few teams like that. I mean, quite a few teams like that that need guys to show up right now to make plays, and I think that are going to do so. All right. So as we're getting to it, we're getting to the nitty gritty here, Dalton. And we got Baylor here, got a couple of these other teams. Next team we're going to get into. Now we have BYU. They got some guys like Jack Kelly. They got guys like Isaiah Glasker there at linebacker, 2 linebacker dogs coming back, and they helped them to an 11-2 record last year. I mean, every week they had some big plays, but obviously they had the big news of losing their quarterback, Red Slaff, who got kicked off for breaking rules and all that good stuff. I'm sure you've heard about it. But give me your thoughts on this team, Dalton, before we get into the transfers and just your overall thoughts.
Yeah, this team could have contended for the title before Red Slav news came out. Not don't know anything about McKay Hillstead, their new projected starter, redshirt sophomore transfer from Utah State. Never got on the field there, so we don't know about him. So there's a lot of projection with this team here, just based off the QB room. But I think their defense and their line can just carry them to 8 wins. Man, the running back coming back, LJ had a good year last year. Big guy, 220, tough to bring down. And then they got a lot. The receiving core is fast, man. The Roberts, Phillips, Kingston trio, speed. They're explosive at receiver. If their quarterback can give them the ball, it's gonna be a good team still, but just not quite the ceiling they had with Retzlaff, man.
No, like you said, we would have had them having a whole lot of different season there, more wins if that didn't happen. Like you said, JoJo Phillips and Parker Kingston's going to be some guys they rely on to get some yardage through the air, and then some new guys coming in as well. Give me your thoughts on some of these guys. We got tight end like Carson Ryan from Utah, Keanu Tayuvasa from Utah as well, a couple guys from Southern Utah. But going down the list, we got Bear Bockheimer from Stanford. They did add some more talent as well. Couple other guys that need to get some names, get some love on this list, Dalton.
Yeah, Tiger Buckmeyer, the receiver from Stanford, his brother coming in too. But
Okay.
Tiger's projected to start at X receiver along with Phillips and Roberts. So see if he can bring anything to the table. He was a pretty big recruit there at Stanford, but you know how Stanford's been lately. It's just nobody's been playing good there.
Yep.
The 2 Utah guys are both going to start. I'm excited to watch Tanavasa.
Yeah, Tayuvasa.
Yeah, he played a little bit last year for Utah. He was a rotational guy, but I think he has a lot of talent. And then Andrew Gentry coming in from Michigan. Him and Safarich are both going to start. So that right side, you're going to have 2 transfers starting on the right side of the old line. See how they mesh together. That'd be a telling point of the season because they're going to have to run the ball.
Good point. Good point. Yep, that's big on you who you got on the line. A lot of people, I think, just assume, all right, switch them to guard. All right, switch them to tackle. And you'll always hear me say, man, it's really not that easy.
Yeah.
Need your guys to mesh well, and things for that to go well and for have a smooth offense. And they just threw a wrench in their whole operation with having to switch their quarterback last minute. So that is why we have them having slightly different record here at 8-4. So that's how it shakes out, unfortunately. Next team we're going to go into, Dalton's a team you're always been high on, who I've kind of had to turn the corner on, I will say. But I do have some respect for them, which is Iowa State Cyclones here. We got them going 6-6, though, unfortunately, coming off the 9-4 record. Give me your thoughts here as they return Rocco Becht and some other guys as well.
I'm expecting Rocco to take the next step this year, man. Good year last year, 3,500 yards, 25 tuds, but 59% completion percentage. Like I said, that number needs to be 64, 65. So see if Rocco can take the next step. I like their run game. Two really good backs. Hanson's the big physical between the tackles guy.
Okay.
20, big back. And then Sama's more the speed guy. So really, you got Thunder and Lightning in this backfield. A lot of good backfield duos in the country this year.
There is, man. It's offensive line duos, wide receiver duos. I mean, but like you said, these running back duos we're seeing, like you guys, we got like Louisville. They got guys that have like lightning and lightning. Got some programs thunder and lightning. Then you got guys who are just change the speed backs. And you brought that up the other day, and you did well doing it. I mean, there's so many duos, and it's what you have to do. You see the NFL's doing the same thing. A lot of these teams are having the running back by committee method, which I agree. They don't want to pay the big bucks to the running backs. They just kind of have a revolving door. I think it's kind of more of a tag team duo here with a lot of these programs as opposed to a revolving door, even though we do have the transfer portal to worry about. But all right, let's go ahead and I like your take on that. Like long list of returners. That's why we had to break the list down a little different here. So, and another long list of transfers that's going to be showing out for them as well. Give me your thoughts here on some guys. Wide receiver Chase Soule from East Carolina. We got cornerback Trey Bell from Lindenwood. Shout out. Another FCS call up there. Offensive lineman Derek Jensen from Wisconsin. Wide receiver Xavier Townsend from UCF. Any of these other guys that are on this list, kind of bottom half or top half?
Well, the two receivers are the big things here. They lost Jalen Noel and Xavier Hutchinson to the draft this year, both to the Houston Texans.
Jalen Noel is a beast.
Yeah, both of them really good. So Chase Soule coming in from ECU, he was Florida wanted him, new recruiting him too. Going to Iowa State, so it's a big win for them. I think he's gonna have a good year, man. And then Xavier Townsend, I like him too at Central Florida. 2 years ago, he had a big year. I think he got injured last year a little bit, but I'm expecting him to bounce back. You got to have somebody catch the ball after you lose 2,000-yard receivers. So that's going to make or break this team this year. Is the receivers, are they going to step up or not?
I agree. You can have the good coaching, good scheme, but at the end of the day, your guys have to make plays, and it's easier said than done. Obviously, we'll see if they can get it done. That's why we got them going 6-6. Man, this is a hard conference than people think. This conference gets pretty loaded. So let's go ahead and for people that's maybe tuned in a little bit here later that didn't maybe get to see their overall standings before we finish the back half here. Before we get into Team 7 here. So, obviously, we got Kansas State getting the first place placement there and winning the conference. Then we got Arizona State, Texas Tech, Baylor, BYU, and then the Cyclones there, who we just covered. All right, so obviously we're going to go into a team that's grown on a lot of people here recently, especially, if you're a fan of College Football 26, they just got straight speed at quarterback. Or if you just like that style of play like me, I just like to see good athletes playing quarterback and, just a fun brand of football. We see guys, big athletes ever like Lenore Sellers and some guys that we're about to talk about here. So let's get into Utah, the Utes. All right, so we got them going 8-4. Coming off a 5-7 record. That's usually not like Utah, man. They usually are known for some good brand of football. They got some great offensive line returning all 5 starters. They got Spencer Fanu. If you've been following anything with the NFL draft, you've heard this guy's name. His name is everywhere. Talking about offensive line, everybody loves him. They got Logan Fanu's brother, Caleb Lomu. Then they got center Jerand Kump. And then he got some guys on defense, too. The linebacker duos as well. Dalton's another position I've seen, just running back and linebackers. A lot of just great duos across the nation. You want to give a shout to any of these guys here on the top or bottom half?
Yeah, man, Lander Barton. I was talking about the linebackers. Great year last year. He had 2 picks, 2 sacks, forced fumble. He did it all. He does a little bit of everything at linebacker. And then Smith Snowden, man, one of the best, most underrated corners in the country, I think. 8 pass deflections last year,
Mhm.
2 picks, 34 tackles as a corner, and he's one of the best returners in the game. Smith Snowden really like him. And then you talked about the O line, but man, 2 first rounders, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I would say Alomu is definitely a first rounder. We'll see what Crump can do. But yeah, man, you have those big guys up front. Then you got a mobile quarterback. God, I mean, which we'll get into. Let's go ahead and do it.
Oh yeah,
I
their
mean,
whole certain skill positions are all transfers.
yeah, let's get into it. Transfers. Go
And
ahead and
here,
educate people, Dalton. Let them know who they should be looking out for.
it starts with the quarterback running back duo. Dampier, man, what a year he had last year running the ball at New
Yeah.
Mexico. Wasn't great at throwing. 12 touchdowns, 12 picks, 57% completion.
We got
Yeah,
to
yeah,
build on that. We got to fix that up. If we clean that up, we have something to build on. We got some good mobility. But I agree, man. I agree. I like him. Go ahead.
Jayshawn Parker, sophomore, true freshman last year, ran for 730 yards at Washington State. So I expected him to have a huge year. Really fast, really good on the game. He's really good on the game.
Hell
Larry
yeah.
Simmons is going to start at slot. Just another mistransfer. 420 yards last year. I guess they seen something they liked out of him. Creed Whitmore, Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Shout out. His brother played. Trent Whitmore played at Florida. Ryan Davis is another receiver that I think is going to be a big from New Mexico. 747 yards last year. So the receivers are going to have to hit. Tobias Merriweather is the other one that's going to have to hit.
Yep.
He's just going to be the number one, really.
Yep. From
But
Cal.
he had 11 catches last year. So unproven receivers that are going to have to produce a lot more than they have in the past. And Dampier's not known for throwing, so I'm a little worried about the passing game. But man, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to stop this run game all year.
I agree. And a lot of people have been having some crazy hot takes with Devin Dampier saying there's their dark horse for their Heisman. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm very curious to see. I don't know about no Heisman contention,
Yeah,
but I do think he's going to have a big season nonetheless. And we'll see how it plays out for the Utes. Like you said, man, Utes coming off that 5-7 record last year. That's just not like them. We're used to seeing just good football for them, right? I
no,
mean,
for sure. The whole Cam Rising fiasco is over with, though, so I think they're back to. They were just hanging on to him by a thread.
yeah, they showed how of a class organization and program they are with that. They could have told that dude to screw off many moons ago.
And they would have been better for it too. Like
Yeah.
they would have been 5-7 last year probably. They
No.
had a revolving door at quarterback there last year.
Yeah, they had
Isaac
Zach
Wilson,
Wilson. Yeah, Zach Wilson's little brother there for a little bit. Isaac Wilson,
and
and
they had
it was just weird. And then it would always just be like, is Cam Rising playing? And we get to you wouldn't know till about warm ups, and you're like you see him warm ups like this guy's has no shot of playing.
yeah, it's
No
a weird
shot.
situation. Weird situation, but he's gone, and I think the team's they're gonna improve.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, they'll be leaning on that new quarterback, but a team that's going to be leaning on the same quarterback here is the Kansas Jayhawks. We got them going 8-4 here, coming off that 5-7 record last year. Jalen Daniels is the man there under center and at shotgun, depending how you run your offense there. Bryce Foster there is going to be snapping it to him there at center. Kobe Baines at guard right next to him, and then we got some defensive guys as well. We got at end, we got Dean Miller, and then some guys up front there, 3 tech and nose, however we want to do it. We got DJ Withers and Tommy Dunn Jr. Let the people know about the Jayhawks. It's a big year for them. And what should people really expect from this team this year, Dalton?
Clearly, I expect a bounce back year, and it's because they played so good at the end of the year last year. They were running off wins. They were blowing teams out that they shouldn't have been blowing out. They played great football at the end of the year. Bad start to the year with
Bad.
it sucked, but they had some really good games, especially against Colorado. Devin Neal was huge last year, so they have to replace him. But I think they got a good stable of backs to replace him with. And I just think Jalen Daniels is going to have a year, man. He was supposed to last year. I just think it's the year. He's just going to be a year late. I think he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in this conference.
Yeah, I think he's just going to be a guy that just puts a nice little stamp on his college career, goes out the decently right ways as opposed to last year. I mean, last year, like you said, he was supposed to have a poise for a big year. Everyone thought Kansas was going to have this big year, and then it just from the jump, it just didn't go as planned, and it was an uphill battle from there. So let's go ahead and get into the transfers, Dalton. Here, they got some new faces here on the team, guys from big programs, guys from little programs. Give me your thoughts here on some of these guys. We got Kevin Burnett from Arizona. We got Bangali Kamara from South Carolina at linebacker, great name. Emmanuel Henderson Jr. from Alabama. And then Saeed Gibbs, Georgia Tech's another name out there. Jaleel Hurley from Alabama. But any other guys, Dalton?
Yeah, I like a lot of the Rawls. He's gonna start at song safety for this team.
Okay.
He's Oklahoma State's always got solid safeties, man. They always have deep safety class, and I think he's gonna have a good year. Justice Finkley, Texas transfer. Didn't get on the field much at Texas, but he's projected to start here. He was a big recruit, obviously. He's at Texas, huge recruit. And then I'm looking at Levi Wentz,
Okay.
from Albany. Huge year at the FCS level last year. He's expected to be the number one. They just have no proven pass catchers. That's the thing. Cam Pickett's their most proven. The Ball State transfer, 520 yards last year. So they're going to need guys to step up. Losing Luke Grimm and Jared Casey on offense, and Devin Neal. Their offense is going to be. It's going to have to have new guys step up. But I like their defense this year, man. Kamara is a good pickup. Trey Lathan, Justice Finkley, and then Dean Miller last year, 6 sacks. I expect him to have double digits this year, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, when you got to replace a big guy running back, the next year is very questionable at what you're going to do and how you're going to get that production. Devin Neal there in the NFL now, and he pretty much wrecked Colorado's season last year. Their hopes at a shot at a Big 12 title, and we'll see what he does at the next level. I agree. So next team we want to get into is a questionable team. I think a team that's kind of lost its shine there, lost its shimmer. Unfortunately, that was used to be really good. Is TCU, the Horned Frogs. Now we got them going 6-6 here, coming off that 9-4 record. We got Josh Hoover, a quarterback, Eric McAllister, a wide receiver, along with Jordan Bailey. Any of these other guys, Dalton, that should be showing out for them at the Horned Frogs and maybe proving me wrong.
Oh yeah, Bud Clark's one of my favorite safeties in the country, man. He has been since the year they made the playoff championship game. Started that year, been a key cog ever since. One of the best safeties in the country.
Great
Top,
name.
top 10 DB list. Love that guy. Devion Deal, another good player. 5.5 sacks last year. Former Tulane transfer, but I like him a lot too, man. I just don't like this team off the field.
Yeah, I think, like you said, we've seen a lot of things come after them. It's like, all right, are they taking football serious there? We don't know what's going on in TCU, and they're going to be leaning on some new guys. Let the people know about this transfer list for the new Horned Frogs. Any guys that's going to be showing out here, like guys like Jordan Dwyer?
Yeah, Jordan Dwyer. I like him, man. Idaho transfer, projected to start this year as well as Joseph Manjack, the Houston transfer.
Yeah.
I do like Joseph Manjack. I've seen him play at Houston. He was always surrounded by bad QB play at Houston, so I'm excited to see him play with Hoover. Not my favorite quarterback, but he had a good year last year, man. 3,900 yards, 27 tuds, 11 picks, 66% completion. So it's a big year. Losing Savion Williams, though, see how they replace him, man. That's a big guy to replace there.
Shout out to Savion Williams now at my Green Bay Packers here. Big receiver, big guy. I like him a lot. And obviously, Jack Beck is another guy, wide receiver. They're going to have to be replacing some guys that's making plays for them. That they're going to have to find some new ones. So it's next guy up mentality, and they got some guys coming in. They got Colin Jackson from LSU at safety. Joseph Manjack, the fourth, great name, from Houston. Shout out to him. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just think with TCU, I just have kind of lost just my thoughts on them. I think they just kind of lost their branding. I think they were more of a just more talented team.
Watch out for Ansel Muba.
Okay.
6 sacks last year as a D tackle.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, at Washington State. So he might be a problem.
Yeah, I agree. Anytime you can get, I get really impressed by interior linemen getting sacks. It's a hard thing to do.
College is way less often.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with how many plays they run. It really depends on who you're facing and what scheme you're running. I mean, sometimes your job as a nose is just to literally plug up the middle and make lanes for your linebackers. That's it. That's okay.
6 for a college D tackle is crazy, man. So yeah, that's a big pickup right there. I'm excited to see Din Muba play.
I agree. And then we got some other teams here at the bottom of the list that's kind of been rounded out that have some big guys as well. The next team who doesn't have too many guys returning is Central Florida. We got them going 6-6 as well, coming off that 4-8 record of last year. Miles Montgomery there, running back. Nigel Kelly at defensive end. And then defensive end Malachi Lawrence is the only guys, key returners returning for the Knights. Dalton, what should the people be knowing about the new faces here for the Knights? Because they got a long list of them.
Oh man, Scott Frost back, right? That's the
Yeah,
biggest storyline about this team this year. Scott
yeah.
Frost back.
Former Nebraska coach. Yep.
Can you replicate what he did the first time here?
Hmm.
Not going that far, but we got him going to a bowl game. That's more than last year, right? It's an improvement.
Baby
I
steps,
like
man.
I like some of the guys they got coming in. Taven Jackson, their starting quarterback coming from IU. Um, he was very good in spot duty. Almost beat Louisville a couple years ago. Remember that game?
Yep.
So he's good, man. I like him. Just their whole team new start. Marcus Burke from Florida. Man, he's a lot of talent. He never really produced at Florida, but he was supposed to. I think he could do something here. But overall, it's a whole new team, and I'm just really buying into the Scott Frost Central Florida thing when it comes to my record prediction.
Okay.
4-8 could easily happen again, but I think Scott Frost in Central Florida, he just knows what to do there.
Yeah.
Rolling 12 to 12-0 last time. That's crazy.
No, that's for insane. It looks like it is a good fit. I think it is. And obviously, he's been in the news for saying, don't take the wrong job. Referring to his time there at Nebraska, saying, he's maybe you regret taking that job and leaving in the first place. So, yeah, man, it all comes full circle. And he's there at Central Florida. He's got some guys here. He got Jaden Bellamy from Syracuse at corner, Jaden McDonald from Virginia Tech there, linebacker, and a couple other guys. Long list, man. So many teams here. Some of these, I think they had the most total transfers, I believe. One
I
of
don't
them.
know, West Virginia, too.
Yeah, them in West Virginia. Yeah, Rich Rod pretty much flipped the whole freaking roster. But I think outside of them, I think they were one of the few teams with the most transfers. So, all right, let's get into the back half here. We're going to the 6-6 club here with Houston coming off the 4-8 as well. Stephon Johnson there at wide receiver. Rashawn Sanford the second. Demetrius Hunter at center. Defensive tackle Carlos Allen. And the defensive end Brandon Mack. And then Kentrell Webb at safety. I'm a little skeptical in Houston, honestly. That's what we got them still in 6-6. Nothing too crazy. I just think they're a year away from some good quarterback play. They got a quarterback in the name of Kashawn Henderson coming in next year, who's one of the top of the nation. Depends on what side you look. I think he's number one though. So he's a hell of a guy, hell of a talent. He can really spin it, and was at Elite 11 this past year. But this year, it's all about this year. Let's get your thoughts, Dalton, on this year's Houston Cougars, and here's the new faces. But what are your thoughts on these guys?
I just Willie Fritz second year. I really respect him as a coach. What he did at Tulane was great. Really put them back on the map, man. After a long down period at Tulane.
Yeah.
He really put them back on the map, and I think he's going to slowly transform Houston back to what they used to be. 6-6 is a step. That's 2 more wins than last year. You can go 8-4 next year. I think that's what Fritz is going to do. It's going to be a slow build. It's just hard to win in Houston. There's so many other schools in Texas that are bigger around you, have more money. But Connor Weigman, man, how do you feel about him? Former loved quarterback by a lot of people. A lot of people were expecting huge things from him last year at A&M.
Yeah, I was never bought into Connor Wegman. I never really bought into him. I think he's a poor man's like Sam Levitt. Yeah, I'm not really too big on Wigman, unfortunately. I just don't think he's that good. I think he does have some good targets here. Like we said, Tanner Kozoil there at top, coming from Wisconsin at tight end. So he's going to have some help there. Luke McGarry from Tulsa, another tight end. And Houston's going to, another guy, another program that runs the air raid. They like to pass a lot. So these tight ends are going to be used a lot. And, you see tight ends like, well, only one's going to get on the field, but this team, they're going to be airing these guys out and looking for some yards from these guys. Sacramento State gets a guy there in Zelmer Vader, corner. Dalton Merriman, Texas Tech offensive lineman, is now at Houston as well. Blake Thompson from Louisiana Tech there at safety. Then we got C.J. Douglas from Sanford at safety. Khalil Lafu from Washington State there. Shout out to the Pollies. And a few other guys as well, like Joshua Donald from App State. Matthew Wyckoff from Cal. Kenny Parks from Wyoming, and a few other guys down the list but these are just the top 15. But yeah, man, I think it's going to be a weird year for them. I think it could go 6-6, 5-7. I just think next year they're kind of been leaning on this NIL recruiting stuff, and I think next year they'll be a whole lot better. But we'll see. Another team that is we'll get into, a team that glitz and glamour, shine, Dion Prime. Shout out to him. I'm glad to hear him that he is healthy, or at least a little more healthy, though he was fighting cancer and on the up and up there. So shout out to him. But we do got the Buffs going 6-6, unfortunately, coming off that 9-4 record. No more Heisman winner and Travis Hunter. No more quarterback and Shadur Sanders. He can do some late game heroics. They do have their left tackle Jordan Seaton there, looking like he's going to be a top 5 pick when he comes out. They are obviously going to be missing LeJontay Wester. They're going to be missing Shallow Sanders and a few guys that left the program. They did add some talent there in the coaching realm, though. Obviously, Warren Sapp got promoted there. He's full-time coach. They did bring in Marshall Falk at running back coach, legendary running back, one of the best ever. Then they did bring in Byron Leftwich as a quarterback coach. I think OOC. He's going to be help calling plays. So they did add some talent in the coaching, but it is about the Jimmies and Joes. You got to have guys that make plays. And I'm a little skeptical. And, the quarterback situation has been a little bit weird. Coach Prime and Coach Sanders, he took 2 quarterbacks to media day. Took Julian Lewis, took Caden Salter, which was a little weird. A lot of people think Julian Lewis is going to start. I think Julian Lewis maybe will start midseason. But here is the guys that's going to be returning. They put the most receivers in the draft last year. Not a lot of people give them credit for. They got Amarion Miller there, Draylon Miller at wide receiver this year. Dalen Hayden, running back. Shout out to him. Any other guys here, Dalton, that's going to be showing out for the Buffs? We got some new faces as well.
Yeah, they're gonna need the Millers to step up. That's for sure. At receiver, not much production returning on offense at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, 3 receivers gone, and then plus you had Will Shepard too on that team, so they're losing him too. Replace your top 4 receivers. So
Yeah, most receivers of the draft, man.
yeah, it's gonna be tough on that point. But I like Arden Walker to end a lot coming back. 4.5 sacks last year, Missouri transfer. I expect him to take another step this year, maybe get to 6 or 7 sacks.
Okay.
Out of that, a lot of these guys. DJ McKinney had a good year too at corner last year, 3 picks, 9 pass deflections.
Yeah.
But they need a lot of these guys to hit in the portal, man. Salter, of course, being the big one. You always need the quarterback to be good, especially when you're used to having Shadur back there. Great college quarterback, man. He was. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, he was.
People like to hate on him, but yeah, he was great. He did plays that most people could make.
That throw against Baylor, man, it's one of the best throws you're going to see. Obviously, he had Travis Hunter to lean on at times, and yeah, he shot himself in the foot. He's not the perfect prospect by any means, but yeah, like I said, it's definitely a step down from what they got now. I went on a little rant there first, just because I forgot to mention Julian Lewis, because a lot of people think he should be starting. A lot of people forget he reclassified. He's supposed to be a senior in high school. I mean, I think they're going to use these first 5 games as his senior year. And then they'll throw him in if it's not really going according to plan. They did beef up the offensive line here. We do see some names like Andre Roy from Maryland. We see some guys like Xylon Chrysler from Illinois. Other guys as well. Larry Johnson the third from Tennessee. Is he related?
I don't know, but
To-
Larry Johnson.
Is he related to Larry Johnson, the former offensive lineman?
I don't know. I don't remember him. I remember the running back.
I would think. I think there was a offensive lineman by a big guy in the NFL by the name of Larry Johnson. He went to Colorado because I think he played with Matt McChesney. I'm not totally sure, but I think he might be related to them. But any of these other guys here, we got Jack Histera from Utah State. That's going to be showing out, or are these guys pretty much unknowns?
I'm excited to see. I'm always excited when see what Prime does with the DB room, because he was a former corner himself. Teion Parks coming in from Illinois State, and he's going to start outside corner. So, we'll see how good that kid is. Coming from Illinois State. Obviously, we didn't get to watch much of him. So I'm excited to see what Deion sees in him. Every time he gets a new corner, I like to have eyes on him.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. Like you said, you had Cormani McClain there, formerly there, and now at your Florida Gators. He's going to be hopefully making some plays. I seen Cormani McClain beefed up, man. He's looking big. Recent picture I saw. So it's been maybe he took a turn for the better there, and I'm happy for him. Looks like both sides are hopefully going to have a good season. But Colorado's going to have an uphill battle, man, and you need your coach to be healthy in order to coach. They have a big test in Georgia Tech week 1, who they are not favored. They are a 4-point underdog. And we'll see. We'll get into that as well as we get into week 1. But, God, that is going to be a showdown of a game. But let's get into the next team here as we round up the Big 12, Dalton. We got Arizona Wildcats. They're looking to have a bounce-back year because last year did not go according as planned. They had a 4-8 record last year. But, I mean, hey, we got them going 4-8 this year. It's not looking good. They lost the best receiver in the class in Tet McMillan. Your guy, Tet McMillan, a guy you have pretty much educated me on, I will say honestly. You were pretty much first on him. I was kind of on his bandwagon, then kind of off his bandwagon, but I think I regret getting off the bandwagon. They got a big shoes to fill. Give me your thoughts on this upcoming team here.
Red Brennan's just not doing good, man. I can't sugarcoat it. He's kind of so Arizona. Jedd Fisch had a great year 2 years ago. A lot of players decided to stay. They decided to stay and wait it out. And then they all transferred to Washington this year. So that tells you a lot. When the guys they wanted to stay at Arizona, they wanted to stay at the program, but they left the year after. Like you don't see that often with coaches that leave. The guys go with them or they don't.
Yeah.
So that says a lot about the coach, man. I just don't have much faith in him.
Yeah.
Turn this around. Fida looked lost last year, and as a freshman, he looked amazing. So, is that coaching or is it him? Is it something to do with the offense? Change the scheme? We'll see this year, but like you said, uphill battle, man. They're just not better than a lot of teams. Not better than many teams in the conference.
I agree, man. I think, like you said, Fida looked lost last year, and I think it is more of a coaching thing because for Fida, if I'm not mistaken, is left-handed, right? He's a left-handed quarterback, and I think it takes a special coach to get the most out of a left-handed quarterback. So they're going to be leaning on some new guys as well, like you said, with some guys that's left. Let's get into some new faces here for the Arizona Wildcats. On top of the list here, we got some guys that you may be familiar with, maybe not. We got Kenyon Burnett from Kansas there, tight end. Michael Dansby from San Jose State there, corner. Deshaun McKnight from Tennessee Martin there, call up from FCS there, D-line. Ty Buchanan from Texas Tech. Trey Spivey, shout out to homie John Spivey from Kansas State. Wide receiver Luke Wissong from New Mexico. Malachi Bailey from Alcorn State, another FCS guy. Another FCS guy from Montana State here, Riley Wilson, defensive end. Chris Hudson from Washington State at wide receiver. Any of the other guys you are familiar with, Dalton, and maybe some people should be familiar with?
Yeah, Keon Burnett was actually at Arizona before last year and left to Kansas, and he's coming back. So
Familiar face there?
Yeah, I guess he didn't like it at Kansas coming back. Luke Wissong, man, big year last year at New Mexico.
I remember you talking about him.
Yeah, I like him, man. 840 yards last year, and that was with Dan Pierre, not really, not a pass happy offense at all. So I think he might be able to have a really good year. And then Chris Hudson as well had 600 yards, 2 tuds last year at Washington State. Washington State losing a lot of guys, man.
A lot of guys.
A lot of good players from them. But
in the draft and in the portal, they had Kyle Williams there, wide receiver last year, and then like you said, they're losing guys left and right here into Arizona. Sorry, go ahead.
You're good. Deshaun McKnight from UT Martin. Excited to see him step up. He's going to start a D tackle this year, so that's another FCS guy, man. We love those. Overall, yeah, they're just going to need the hit rate to be so high for this team to be competitive. I don't love any of the positions outside receiver either. So might be another long year, but hopefully I'm wrong, man. Prove me wrong. I love it.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, we'll see if they can bounce back. Like I said, for Fida's.
Fida still. I'm not off the bandwagon yet, man. I think it's
okay. I was just going to ask that. I was going to see. All right, I was wondering, were you still Sam with Fida, or are you still on him? Are you off him? So okay, cool. That I like it. I like to see you stick with your guy, and if you got some better coaching, if they can tighten up some stuff, they can really make some big changes. This upcoming season, we'll see what happens. A team that's going to have another big season here. Now they flipped the whole team. They added some guys. They've Rich Rod here. Rich Rodriguez takes the job returning to West Virginia, former coach here at West Virginia. He brought in some familiar faces. He hired Pat White, former quarterback, great quarterback at West Virginia from when me and Dalton was growing up. Absolute loved watching him. He also hired Noel Devine, former running back from West Virginia that he also coached. But he had to turn over the whole roster. As you can see, only 2 key players here returning. Give me your thoughts on the Mountaineers, Dalton. What is Rich Rod in for his first year on campus?
Jaheim White's he's gonna carry this team. He's gonna have to stay healthy. One of the most explosive backs in the country, man. Great juke move, great in the open field. So much juice in his game. I love Jaheim White. One of my favorite backs in this conference. But outside of that, yeah, Hopefully he knows what he's doing in the portal, man. He hasn't had to hit the portal too much at Jack State. That's a school where you just recruit and you recruit. This is
And
different.
guys in that sense in Jack State, he was kind of in a position where, to a certain extent, some guys are going to be coming to him, from bigger programs trying to really get their first stats, on the board, trying to get on the field. So, any of these guys on the transfer list that's coming into the Mountaineers to Morgantown now, like we said, me and you, we like the FCS guys. He took a ton of FCS guys.
Yeah.
Any of these other guys that should be getting some love?
Jamori Robinson, man, 10.5 sacks last year.
Phew.
Yeah.
He's number one for a reason.
Yeah, he's expecting big things from him this year. See if he, level up competition's getting stepped up, but if he's that good, I think he'll be able to produce. I think he's gonna have a big year. And then how about Walter Youngbear?
Oh my God! Yes, great name. Glad you brought it up.
Yeah, he's gonna start at left guard too, so it's not just a good name; he's a good player as well. Excited to see him just because his name's Youngbear. So hopefully he does good, man. Um, who else I got here, Jeff? Yeah, man. A lot of these guys are from smaller schools. The rest of the guys that I'm
A
not.
lot of them. When we
haven't
got
mentioned.
we got Logan Ramper from Slippery Rock. I mean, we got guys from Fair State. Fair State. I haven't done the numbers. I'm going to go back and do it before kickoff of week 0. Fair State maybe have the top 3, top 5 most teams that from FCS teams that put guys up FBS this year. So players, if you're watching, send your film to Fair State. And they got guys watching everywhere. They got guys from Incarnate Word, guys from Youngstown State.
There's one guy that's one transfer that didn't make the top 10. I guess he came over with Rich Rod from Jacksonville State. Receiver
Okay.
came on. He had 803 yards last year. So I think he might right now. He's projected to start at the X for them. Cam Vaughn. He's only a redshirt sophomore, so he put up 800 yards as a freshman. See if he can step up his level of competition too. I like that. I like that addition. But let's see how Nico plays, man. He didn't start last year. They had Garrett Green. But Nico was whenever he had to play, he played good, and I've seen him play a lot. Spot duty, Garrett Green got hurt a lot. He was a runner. He's
Yeah, he
actually playing
was.
receiver right now in the NFL. So
And we got our boy at West Virginia who we got to see at Elite 11 throw, Scotty Fox. He, Rich Rod, when you take over a job, you got guys already committed. Do you want to honor their scholarships? Do you not? And he did with Scotty Fox. He noticed, he saw that this guy's a dog.
I mean, hey, he's QB4 right now, but the guys in front of him are juniors and seniors. So
Yeah, I think he's a shoo-in for QB2 next year, and then maybe on down the road be starting quarterback for the Mountaineers, who me and Dalton were lucky enough to see throw live, and he put on a show as a few others did as well that day. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Mountaineers. First year back on campus was for Rich Rod. Happy for him in that sense. Seen a clip of him just ripping some guys. I mean, he's one of the last few old school coaches there is in college football. He'll rip you, and he does the same thing to his coaches too. So I do like Rich Rod, and I'm curious to see what happens for him. A lot of eyes on that coaching, that new coaching hire, but a lot of eyes on this next team and their coach in Cincinnati, because Scott Satterfield, I got some questions on him, honestly. Coming off the 5-7 record last year, 4-8 this year. Brendan Sorsby at quarterback, as they're going to be a returning leading signal caller there. Some people really like him. Some people don't. I'm not too high on him, but I do like to give people the benefit of the doubt when we haven't even played it down yet of this season. So we'll see what film he puts out this year. They got guys like Evan Pryor at running back. But Dalton, out of these guys, are they going to be making some plays? Are we crazy for having them at 4-8, or what's up? Do you think we're going to hit it nail on the head?
I mean, we just like you said, we're not a huge believer in Satterfield
No,
on this channel. Just to be honest,
no.
we haven't seen much from the guy ever.
Yeah. And for some context, me and Dalton live in Louisville. He used to be the head coach at Louisville, so we got to see a lot of games up close and really see the program up close. And he's just a kind of weird guy, honestly. Just if I was a recruit, if you got an offer from Louisville, obviously you more than likely got some offers from other places as well. I don't see how that guy comes into your living room and that's like after talking to him, you're like, all right, that's where I want to go. No offense, but I don't know. I just don't see him being like just a great leader. And a reason why I say that, I'm not just pulling it out of the dark. He had a press conference when he was the head coach at Louisville. He said, "Well, I can't really think about a player's 4 years here. I got my 20 years to think about as a coach. My next 20 years." Pretty much saying like I don't give a crap about these
Weird,
kids.
man.
I will throw them all under the bus. And I think if you see that as a recruit, and then and choose to go there after that, I'm like, that's on you. What happens after that? But hey, maybe we're wrong, and maybe Satterfield just needed some time to get his foot in the water as they enter the Big 12, because he obviously got a long list of guys that's going to be playing for him. New guys transferring in. Let's take a look at the list here, Dalton. Who's some guys here that you think could be some playmakers, new transfers?
Oh, Tawee Walker. I think he might have a big year, man. 864 yards last year at Wisconsin. So 10 touchdowns. Solid year. He was the number one back last year. Former Oklahoma transfer. He played good there too. So I really like him in the backfield. He probably take Evan Pryor's job, honestly.
Okay.
Cyrus Allen, the Texas A&M transfer. I've always heard good things about this guy at A&M, and he was supposed to be good, but he never really put up the numbers that he was supposed to. So we'll see if he can do better with Sorsby. Sorsby's actually had a good year last year, man. 18 touchdowns, 7 picks, 65% completion percentage. I just think he needs better talent around him.
Yeah, only 18 touchdowns and what? Only 18 touchdowns is such a weird. I don't know. I'm like, I feel like you just have more. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just trying to. I like to pass it more. Who knows? But yeah, he's got a lot of new guys to help him out there on both sides of the ball. To either helping him to where his team's not backed up too much. Defense is playing their game, or they got some guys on his side that's going to be making some plays. They got some guys like Noah Jennings from Charleston Southern. They got some guys like Isaiah Johnson from Western Carolina, another FCS call up there. Shout out. And they got some guys, Cyrus Allen, like you said, Texas A&M, Caleb Goody, Colorado State.
He's good too, man. Matthew Medum, the corner from Coastal, and had a good
Yeah.
year last year.
Coastal Carolina, man, it's a weird thing. It's like they have bits and pieces, but they never really get the full picture there. And that's why they've kind of been a G5 guys. And but they do produce some good talent scouting wise, and they get their eyes on some good players. So we'll see what happens for Cincinnati, as Big 12 and Cincinnati just doesn't really roll off the tongue, unfortunately. For me, I just don't see them as a Big 12 team out, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. It's just weird to see them in the same senses as a Kansas State and as some of these programs. So Dalton, want to get your thoughts here on the last few teams here. The next team we have is Oklahoma State. Now, I think this is one of the weirdest situations in college football because the fact that they kept Mike Gundy after last year blew my mind. I mean, you had the stuff with Ollie Gordon at the beginning of the year with the DUI, and he didn't get suspended. Now, as we look on the screen here, we got them going 4-8 after the 3-9 record. They bring back quarterback Zane Flores. What are your thoughts? I mean, we got to go ahead and get some transfer list because they only bring back Zane Flores.
Yeah, he ain't even a shoe in to start. Hoss Hedgie might start, transfer from TCU.
Okay.
Fast. John Rice Plumlee comp
Okay.
is Hoss Hedgie, so I would hope he starts. No offense to Flores, I just like Hedgie's game more, man. He's exciting to watch. He was great Texas high school career, but man, what happened to Gundy?
I don't know, man. I think it's just like lost his way. Too much hair dye.
It was
too
so
much.
quick, bro.
I know, bro. I don't know. I think he just stopped getting like good quarterbacks. I think some coaches just really lose their edge in scouting. They just lose their fastball with the scouting thing, and they just kind of the game changes around them, and their eye for talent just isn't as sharp as it once was. That or you just really suck to be around and nobody wants to play for you. It's really one of those two because he really was a good coach back then. Had some great offenses. He's been at Oklahoma State for forever and a day. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think he's, like you said, got some new guys here like Zaquan Patterson from Miami and Jalen Davies from UCLA. But yeah, we'll see what happens for him, man.
I'm checking out all the transfers and seeing what they did last year. None of them are really impressive, like in the box score at least. None of them are really moving the needle. Like a lot of them got 2 tackles last year, 3 tackles, and they're about to start this year. So I don't know if Oklahoma State, if Gundy's can pull them out anymore.
No, I think this should be. I mean, I think last year should have been the last year for him. Unfortunately, I think this year is probably going to be the last year. Yeah, exactly. Like we don't hope for anybody's downfall, but it's like a spade's a spade, and from our eyes work. Our eyes see what we see, and this program has just been a nutshell of what it used to be. And I mean, this team has been the likes back far from the team like Des Bryant days and stuff like that. Man, I mean, it was a really fun team to watch, and really just big guys. I mean, they were closing the gap on a lot of teams, and now, we got them finishing
I
16th in
mean,
the Big
they
12.
they were one play away from the championship. Brandon Whedon.
Brandon
They missed,
Whedon, shout out
missed the
Zach,
field
shout
goal, bro.
yeah, shout out Zach Robinson, another guy as well, and Justin Blackman as well. I mean,
I
that
definitely shout out Brandon Whedon. That used to be my guy. Hopefully he was watching this, man. You never know. Remember,
shout out
Manny
Brandon.
Pest Academy. Brandon Whedon was my coach. I got put on the worst team somehow ever. So he loved me. I was the only good player in the team. Like had to throw me the ball every time. But we talked for a long time, man. Talked when he was in the league. Just lost the number one day. But I hope he's doing good, man. I love Brandon Whedon. It's my guy.
Shout out Brandon Whedon, former professional baseball player as well. But
Missed the
that
Heisman.
rounds up, the team previews here as far as individual here. And looking at the overlook here, we got Kansas State obviously winning, and it's going to be a good year, man. What are your thoughts here on the Big 12? Obviously, it's I mean, the bottom half does get a little ugly at the end, but we don't know. Like, I think it is more of a coaching thing, not as more of like these programs have always sucked. So that's maybe a good thing to look at, positive outlook. But before we end it here, Dalton, as we finished up a great week, as we're going into the week, we got SEC. I mean, last week we've been on Draft Professor, this week we've been on Draft Professor, and every Monday you can catch us on that. So it's been very cool. What are your thoughts on this Big 12 before we get rolling here, man?
Um, yeah, I like this conference because, like I said, I can see any of the top 7 teams winning this conference. So it's wide open. It's wide open. That's what I like. A lot of good games every week in this conference. Not many blowouts. Even like Houston, Arizona State. That might be a competitive game. Um, so I'm excited to watch this conference, man. And then we got the heavy hitters like the Big Ten and the SEC, sure, at the top. You don't have the Oregons and Ohio States, Floridas and Alabamas, but you lack in quality, you make up for in the quantity. The depth's really good in this conference. I'll take the bottom half over the Big Ten.
No, for sure. I agree. Yeah, I mean, no, I definitely agree. I think it's underrated quarterback play. Some of these teams are going to have to up it up, in the next year to kind of keep up with the top half of this conference, but we'll see. But hey, somebody's got to lose each and every week, and there's always next year and next week for these guys. So yeah, man, I think it's going to be a fun year. Obviously, we'll be live in studio for the rest of our previews, but man, like, it's getting closer and closer. Let's wrap it up. The 2025 Big 12 preview. Obviously, we have SEC next, and then Week 0. If you
First game
did,
of the year. First game of the year is a Big 12 game, man.
yeah,
K State, Iowa State on Saturday at noon. From Dublin, Ireland. Big game. We're gonna learn a lot about the Big 12. The first game of the first 3 hours of the season, man. That's a toss up game.
very sure. I wonder what the kickoff time for that's going to be.
It's a noon game. It's a noon
Oh,
game.
noon game for us. Okay, well that's
Yeah, it's
cool.
fire.
Well, yeah, we'll see how that
Like
plays out, man.
6 o'clock
Obviously,
there.
6 o'clock there. You said.
Yeah, they're like six
Okay.
hours. Yeah,
Okay.
5 or 6. It's 5 or 6. It's gonna be 5 or 6 in Ireland. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. It's not earlier there, even by like an hour. So okay, cool. I like that a lot. Obviously, week 0, we'll have picks for that game. Stay tuned. We will have full predictions for all of week 0, a full slate, since it's not, technically a full slate, but it's college football and we'll take it. So very excited. Catch us Friday. If you want to follow us on socials, we'll be at Winton Woods. We will be live on scene covering our first high school game of the year. We're starting off strong. This is week 1 here in Ohio. We'll be traveling up there to really watch some great talent. Rael Kelly, defensive back. He's committed to Alabama. We got Winton Woods head honcho, the quarterback, our guy, Bryshon Brown. He is committed to NIU, Northern Illinois, and he is heck of a guy and a hell of a ball spinner. And Chad Murphy's their head coach. And excited to see what Winton Woods is going to do. What are your thoughts here, Dalton, as we get into the week? We got SEC. What are you looking forward to?
Just ball, man. Talking seasons is great, predicting everything, but
Yeah.
you don't really know what's gonna happen until they get on the field. I'm excited, man. This year's wide open. There's not a favorite, overwhelming favorite to me.
No.
We'll get into that when I preview, and I'll tell you who's gonna win the ship and all. But I'm not confident in it. I'll say that.
I agree. All these teams that are absolutely loaded across the board, usually for most positions, they're pretty much turning over a new quarterback, and that's the biggest position. So yeah, it's total shots in the dark in a certain case, and you got to go off limited film and go off what you've seen in the past from these guys. So can't wait to break it down. Follow us on Substack if you want to catch all of our articles, if you want to read what we're doing, and we are excited, man. We will have a full week down preview. Hope everyone's having a good week, and we keep us locked and loaded as tomorrow we will do SEC, and we'll be hopefully you join us and have a great week, and we will see you then.
Yep. See y'all tomorrow.
See ya. Have a good one.